Tonight, we get into a whole lot of street and urban culture right here in the city. This is DXB Today.
Welcome to DXB Today. It's Tuesday. That means it's trending, it's terrific, and it's trendy. Yes, we are talking streets, fashion, music, and culture. We're covering it all.
We'll be taking a look at fashion fits that are trending and turning heads, quite literally. We'll also be looking at homegrown artists that depicts life as an expat right here in Dubai through her work.
And we are giving the show a twist today with one of our guests actually performing the spoken word. And we send Faris off to Bounce X to show us apparently how to parkour. And that is what I'm looking forward to most tonight.
The best guy for the job.
Imagine Faris doing a bit of parkour.
Is that actually going to happen?
Yeah, we're going to see it
my
later. We went
word.
down to Bounce X.
Oh, that's fantastic. I haven't been down there yet. Have you done parkour before?
I've done parkour before, yes. Not, wonderfully. I'm not really that kind of way inclined. When I used to do ballet when I was about 3-4 years old, and the ballet teacher legitimately told my mum, I don't think it's for her.
Yeah, fair enough. She knew what she was doing. She's a professional.
Well, but this is it. Look, when it comes to parkour and dance and all of that sort of thing, it all comes from the streets. I remember it started in Paris many years ago, and it mixes with gymnastics and athleticism. It's fantastic, man. Have you ever done it as well?
I've never done it. I see it in a lot of movies.
Yeah.
You know, like yesterday I was just watching a movie, there was so much parkour in there. I was like, I want to try this. But the thing is, you're so right, and I feel like Dubai is just fully implementing the urban street culture more and more. I feel like every year goes by that I'm here, there is something else happening. I mean, so many events that you and I know so well of. We've got Seoul DXB that's been happening for years now. We've got the urban market concept happening right here in Dubai, literally in this week, I believe it is. It's just like food, culture, entertainment, fashion, just everything coming together. And it's something for the family.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why we wanted to highlight it on the show, right? Because I think so many people think of Dubai as this glitzy, new. Dubai has so much soul, and we're going to show you everything today.
I know, and we've got someone who can cover it all as well. He is our co-host for today. Yes, I'm sure you're wondering who it is. I'm actually wondering who it is as well.
Read the script, if you like.
Apparently he's a wonderful person, but let's find out who is our co-host for today.
And I'm Saeed, arts and culture journalist for The National, and I can't wait to talk to you soon about all things street culture.
Ah, there it is, Saeed, the man with the plan. He's going to be joining us in the studio just in a few, but while he makes the journey, we're going to take a little closer look at the sports that have been practiced in urban spaces, as we were discussing earlier, parkour. And our man Faris went down to Bounce X. I can't wait to see this. Festival City took a crash course to see what it's all about. Let's check it out.
Hey, it's Faris, and today I'm spending the day at the world's biggest all-terrain freestyle park. So let's jump right in! And here we are with the man that makes sure everything is running properly. I'm here with venue manager, Mr. Alex Silva. Thank you so much for having us at Bounce X.
Pleasure to having you here in our bounce venue.
Thank you very much. Now, Alex, do you do any bouncing yourself, or do you just do all the admin stuff?
No, I do a bounce as well. Not too much, but I do bounce as well.
So this place is absolutely massive. It's huge. What are the different things that people can experience here?
Here they can do a lot of stuff. So bounce, it's the home of freestyles. Here people they can go since the trampolines, they have the parkour. We have our amazing birthday parties with a taste of freestyle. We are very strong bounce in Middle East with the parties. We have our freestyle academy. It's awesome.
Amazing. And when do people usually come? Is it around the weekend, or are people coming in every day?
Look, mainly our busy periods are on the weekend, obviously when we don't have schools. During the weekdays we have the school groups through the morning, and then in the afternoon we have tourists, we have people who come in the afternoon as well. We have our freestyle classes in the afternoon, but mainly Friday to Sunday.
Now, I'd say this is a great option for maybe someone who wants to try more adrenaline rush type activities, but they don't want to jump out of a plane, they don't want to bungee jump, they want to try something simpler, but they're still a bit scared.
Yeah.
What do the instructors do to get people more comfortable with this type of activity?
Look, first, safety is our number one priority. For that reason, we have hosts in every areas that we interact first with the customers to understand what are their skill levels. From that, we go with them for the trampolines. We start with the basic tricks, slowly to inspire the progression until they want to jump.
Alex, as you can see, I'm wearing sports gear for the first time on DXB today. What are you going to have me doing?
I'm going to put you with one of our coach, and you're going to go through some areas of the venue. You're going to do parkour. You're going to do some trampolines. Maybe we can put more tribe and maybe do maybe dodgeball games. Ooh. Let's see. A lot of fun for you.
Amazing. Well, I can't wait to meet him, and thank you so much, Alex, for having us.
I'm the one who has to thank you for coming.
And this is where the real fun begins. I'm here with team leader Marco, who's going to be showing me some pointers when it comes to freestyling. So, Marco, we did a bit of a warm-up. What are you going to have me do next?
So right now we're going to jump over these parts of wood. We're going to climb up, climb down, and we do some little moves there, just basic moves of parkour.
Amazing. Can't wait to show you. Let's go!
Climb up. Awesome. Up again. And climb down.
Oh, that was intense.
No worries. Now, this was just the first level. We're going to go for the second level. Advanced section. Let's go. Let's go. Faster. This time I want to see you super fast. Good job.
So if you want to get active, you want to do something indoors, and you want to have fun, come on down to Bounce X.
I didn't expect him to be quite as agile as he was.
No,
well
same.
Done.
I know.
Well done.
It was wonderful, wasn't it? Good old Faris. Right, we are joined now in the studio by our guest co-host for the day, Saeed.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, I turned into Lane then. Apologies for that.
What's happening?
Thanks
So good to be here.
much for joining us. We're so excited to have you.
Absolute pleasure. And, this is a great topic, street culture, because as you're saying, this is a scene that's evolving, and it really brings a different vibe to Dubai that people should know.
Yeah, and they should, and that is exactly why we brought you on. Now, you're a culture journalist. What makes you so qualified to do that job?
It is one of the best jobs in the paper. I'm not going to lie. That's the only thing I want to say. In the sense that it's a great gig because you get to see how the UAE kind of really evolved. I mean, I've been here for my 13th year now. And we've seen so many events kind of grow from these small things like Seoul DXB we mentioned. It was kind of small, and now it's kind of this amazing big extravaganza. We've seen, I was there, when the expo was announced that Dubai was getting it, and then we see, and just covering the expo, seeing how it was growing and to what it became. You're kind of really on the front lines of how Dubai's evolved into this really wonderful, multicultural, cultural place.
It's an amazing place.
We really are lucky because we're bringing influences from all over the world to create Dubai's street culture. So how would you define the current space and what Dubai street culture is looking like?
Well, Dubai has its own street culture. The UAE has its own street culture, and that really comes from the multicultural nature of the city, of the country. We're talking about over 180 different nationalities here, and everybody comes with their own culture, with their own way of doing things. So that comes from fashion to food to sports. So I think in a way this is really what makes Dubai street culture what it is today, which is different than what it is in Paris, than what it is in New York, and that's the way it should be. Every culture, every place should have its own flavor. And Dubai definitely does have that.
So if someone wants to actually get immersed into street culture and they're not actually from it, how would you say they can do that?
I'm listening.
Well, it's a great question because I'll always reply with the first question is like, what do you want? Like, do you want to see something? Do you want to eat something? Do you want to wear something? Because this is really what it is about. Now, if you wanna go talk about food, the urban market. There's so many different restaurants. If you want to talk about, clothes, there's so many like really great concept stores, like an El Cercal, which is like such a hub. Now, this is where the cool kids go. I just wear a black shirt because that's the safest option for me. I don't know, but if you want to go for galleries, again, there's so many great places to see. So I kind of feel the question is like, what do you want to do? And then we can go from there. Yeah. And don't forget basketball. Basketball is a very big pillar of street culture.
Well, but that's the thing. When Soul, the early days of Soul DXB, it was in El Cercal. And you had the street boards and street skaters and a little bit of basketball, and all of the galleries were taken over. That was the place. You're right.
And it grew because the scene grew, and that's the beautiful thing about events like Soul DXB and others. It's a response to what's happening on the ground. So the way that it is now with the multiple acts, the full basketball court. They was even playing indoor futsal the last time, if you remember. It goes to show you that this is how the scene is growing.
I mean, it has changed so much. You say you've been here 13 years. We've all been here a number of years as well. Like, it seems to have kind of really gotten big. Tell me if I'm wrong. Probably in the last 5-6 years, people are able to kind of embrace more of the street culture. And a prime example, there was a woman who'd put a post on one of the kind of Dubai ladies' Facebook pages, right? And she said, listen, I don't think I fit into the Dubai scene. I'm more of a skater girl. I'm more of an indie girl. I'm more of a rock girl. So many comments of other women going, I'm with you, where can we meet up, where can we do? And then so many other suggestions. It's so nice for people to sort of have a place, right?
And absolutely, and the fact that it's open, that's why I like the term street culture, because it's kind of like nebulous. It can mean what you want it to be. It's like so if you're into punk rock, I mean there's a place for you. If you're into hip hop, there's a place for you. If you're into dance, there's a place for you. There's the whole point of the culture is not to shut off anything. It's to always be open and to be embraced and kind of create that community.
Nice.
Now, we've spoken about the consumer side of things, but for many brands around here in the UAE, which we're going to have a few on later on in the show, they have really not just created urban brands, but communities around these brands. How important has that been for the people?
And I think that's it, because I think this is where brands sink or swim, because in a sense, you just can't have a person with a Run DMC T-shirt, when they're really DIFC, you know what I mean? So it's like you can see the community can smell the tourists, So I think brands really need to kind of work hard to kind of create a great story and create this feeling of community. And if you don't, you get found out. That's the good thing about I guess any street culture community from any around the world. They're so into it, but they can just tell when you're being a fake.
Yeah. If you don't get a Run DIFC T-shirt made up after this show, then we've just lost it.
We'll talk about some fees later.
Yeah, sure. Best line of the episode, and we're only 5 minutes in. I love that. Said, we'll be back with you very soon after the break with our special guest who will be performing a spoken word. You don't want to miss it.
Welcome back to DXB Today. We're joined now in the studio by dancing soul trotter and creative storyteller, and that is a title, Philip J. Rashid. How are you, sir?
I'm very good. Thank you for having me.
I apologise about Lane. He gets very excited for today's show. We're really excited that you're here with us today. Now, that is such an interesting title. How on earth have you got the title?
Which one? Soul trotter?
Well, everything. Soul trotter, spoken word, everything.
It actually got it was given to me by a b-boy from abroad. They always used to call me Globetrotter. But then I had a camera in my backpack and I wrote a spoken word, and then after that somebody said, you ain't the Globetrotter, you're the Soul Trotter.
I love that.
And then that was like 20 years ago, and I kept it, and now it's my company as well. So
I love it so much. It's written, it kind of just hits home, doesn't it? So I want to talk to you a little bit more very quickly about TMC. It's TMC 7.83. That's your project. I want to know everything about it, including where the name came from.
So it's an abbreviation for the main circle. 7.83 stands for frequency, and I will break it down in the spoken word later. But it's actually a project that shines light on the b-boy community in the region, which is a very underground movement, but has been very influential in the street culture when it comes to fashion, music, films now as well. So a lot of the commercials that you see nowadays has dancing in it. But for me, it was very important to give them the right stage, the right platform to tell their stories, to show their skills, and to show that we're an art form as well.
Now, Lane and you go way back. I call you both like the OGs of Dubai, right?
You more than me. I've been here for 10 years.
I'm going to quickly get in there before you and Lane get into it. But, you've done so much and you're very much arts focused. Performed street culture at the Smithsonian Festival in Washington, D.C., so you've gone global as well. Performed at the Louvre, Abu Dhabi. We met over 2 years ago at Future World, Abu Dhabi. And you are so passionate about the community and being kind of like a mentor and idol to others who want to do what you're doing. So tell me more about that. Where does that come from?
Well, good question. Wow.
That's why we hire.
In the early morning. No, but so I came to Dubai, funny enough, through hip-hop culture. And they wanted me to mentor and basically guide the scene and give workshops and judge. And I took it upon myself because I traveled the world as a b-boy. And I made films about it, and I had a lot of opportunities that other people don't have. But it also came with sacrifices that a lot of people don't realize you have to make. Sometimes I lost touch with my family, for example, right? Because they didn't understand the decisions I was making from a professional career perspective. I was a successful actor in Holland, and I was a TV host as well. And at one moment, they see me dancing on the street, and they go like, this guy lost his mind. But they didn't know that my background came from street culture. So I never went to acting school, never went to film school. So the street culture was my performing arts academy without an official diploma. And this is what I'm trying to give to people from the region to be able to pursue their dreams as well.
Rashid, I remember I interviewed you before, for the paper. And do you know how hard it is to write about, yourself and just generally about the street culture? Because we're talking about music, dance, you're talking about film. There's so many things going on, and the spoken word. So in that sense, while it's great for, that the community has all these different genres, how can one begin? How can one enter? Is it based on talent or is it just based on what you want to do?
Well, it all starts with your interest first. And with me, it always has started with music, funny enough. Music has been the guideline for everything, the rhythm, the vibrations. But just find your interest. And in our culture, you have to earn your stripes. Now, here, the generations are not that old, so there's not an older generation to guide the younger guys. But earn your stripes, show interest, go to events, come to practices, show that you're dedicated, and then, you'll be embraced. There's a lot of platforms popping up right now, and I'm lucky enough in this case, in this point of my life, that I've been mentored by an Oscar-nominated filmmaker for this project. We work with a Grammy-nominated composer from Sudan, the only one. So I also still have guidance, right? And we're never too old to learn. And this is, I think, one of the key things. One of the pillars of street culture is also the attitude and the ego, because if nobody believes in you, you have to believe in yourself.
They say you have to kind of be a bit delusional, to believe in yourself that much.
Over to Lane, Red Man.
Look, we all are at some point, you know what I mean? But the proof is in the pudding. So if you've got the skills to pay the bills, then So on that note, you're going to be performing for us a bit later. So
let's go.
I think we're all looking forward to that. Man like Philip's going to be performing, so stay tuned. But before that, we want to find out what is the dilly, what is happening, what's guaning on the streets and in the buzz in the city. Nimi, what's happening?
Yeah, the roundup. This is exciting. We do this every single show where we tell you what's trending in the space of what we are talking about. Now, the UAE's ancient art of henna tattoos is gaining a modern twist. So it is incorporating her henna designs with fashion and reintroducing it to the younger generation. Emirati artist Azra Kamisa is seen here drawing henna on a shoe as part of her collaboration with the brand Adidas. She says young women are increasingly looking for designs that speak to them more in terms of their style and how they dress and the places they go to. Now, I couldn't agree with that more, being a young woman myself.
Yeah, sure.
A lot of my fashion, style, brand influences is things that I believe in, things that, you know, grab on to my heritage or my culture, people, my ancestors, the generations before me. Now that's becoming quite a norm now, isn't it, Saeed? I mean, you must have seen this, especially in the art space, whether it's fashion, whether it's the stuff you see on people's walls. You know, it's very influential from their background and heritage, but also bringing in a bit of a modern twist.
And this what defines each local scene. I mean, the fact that, you know, I mean, henna tattooing, like, you know, I mean, that term, that can also be, you know, Rashid, looked at as street culture, something that's our own.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think again, so this is again, we're seeing how, you know, how artists are kind of, you know, are getting inspired by what they see every day, using, you know, the stories, inspirations from their culture, from their heritage, and bringing it to, you know, to a new modern audience or a new spin.
And that's the thing as well, isn't it? Because with this, I mean, incredible collaboration for Asra with Adidas and, as you say, like showing henna to a whole new audience. We're here, we're in the Middle East, we know what henna is, we've all had it. We've all had it.
And I think that's, you know, a quite sharp, you know, a quite savvy move, you know, from a brand like that, you know, to, instead of imposing what they think, you know, street culture is, you know, they're actually going out there and collaborating. Perhaps not with an artist that's a superstar, but an artist that's authentic.
And hot off the heels of the Ravi's collaboration.
Adi know what they're doing. Adi has been on that for
absolutely.
And you're a big Adi fan, I know that.
I am.
I saw the shoes.
Yeah, they're quite fresh and new, aren't they? They're new ones. Right, now our spotlight today is an artist that creates tongue-in-cheek vintage-style posters about expat life in Dubai. They are all over my house, and if you know them, you definitely know them. Let's get to know artist and designer Claire Napper from High Life Dubai.
Hi, my name is Claire Napper. I'm the artist and designer behind these High Life posters. They are satirical artworks about expat life here in the UAE, covering lots of local themes and places and Dubai-isms. I've been doing it since 2014. I launched my first collection then, and since then I've made over 60 posters, and I've expanded into a range of gifts and merchandise. So specifically, my inspiration is from 1920s vintage advertising, the travel posters from that era. This is before we had photography. Illustrations would draw out these amazing holiday destinations and print them with bright, bold colours in lithographic print processes. So it's from that era that I take the inspiration, and I've created like a whole backstory of vintage posters for the UAE, the ones that never existed. We should all support local artists because it will strengthen the creative output of the city, which in turn will show the world Dubai's true cultural identity. I face many challenges as an artist. When you're running your own business, it's hard to find the time to create new work when you're kind of caught up with all the day-to-day running of the business. Another challenge is staying on top of social media. This is a huge part of running an art business. And most importantly is trying to connect with my customers. I feel that if my poster does not sell, it means it's not connecting with people, so I count it as a failure. So I've been doing this for 9 years, which is far longer than I ever imagined when I started. So it's already been going on for way too long. But the beauty of this city is that there's always people leaving, and people leaving is my main customer base. People buy these as souvenirs of their time spent here. So as long as Dubai has people leaving to go back to their home countries, I'll still be in business. So I like this question. If it was my perfect day in Dubai, I'd probably start off with a skydive, and then I would go for lunch with a big group of friends by the sea, long leisurely lunch, and then probably we'd all head to some stand-up comedy in the evening.
I absolutely love Claire's stuff. If you haven't got any of her posters, go and get one. Now, we have a lot of things lined up. We're just going to take a quick break. But before we go into the break, we have the one like Philip is going to be doing his thing and lead us into the break. But if you like sneakers, stay with us. But for now, Philip, take it away, my brother.
7.83 to be exactly. Bound by sound and nations united by vibrations. 7.83 is the frequency of Earth. Yes, the Earth is made in 7 days. We have 7 spectrum of waves: radio, micro, infra, ultra, X, natural, and gamma rays. We have 7 musical tones to keep our pace, 7 holes in our face. And did you know there's 7 colors in the rainbow? And I bet you never gave it a thought, but guess why? Film is the 7th art. We walk around the Kaaba 7 times. We have 7 Emirates. And hey, 7 is also my birthday. 7.83 is the energy of you, and it's the energy of me. 7.83, it's the energy of we. The main circle, it's naturally given. It is within us and within them. And everything is balanced to its rhythm. It's universal. Listen, it's in your heart. Do you hear that sound? Even in the words that I speak, it's all around. Because vibrations precede light, ear precedes sight. And what you give is what you get. Action is reaction, and the groove makes us move. And sometimes wrong is right when right has left. When you're not in touch with nature, your health, or better said, your divine self. 7.83, it's the energy, the frequency, the vibration, and we just dance. Whether we are alone or in cruise, whether we are healthy or bruised, whether we win or lose. 7.83, and we just dance. We just dance to the rhythm of its beat. 7.83.
Welcome back to the show. Now, street fashion is not complete without the right wares. You've got to have the right outfit. From head to toe, you've got to be in the know. And to help us get our swag on is the co-founder of Hype House in the house, Mr. Abdul Rahman.
Thank you so much
What's
for having
going
me.
on, bro?
Thank you so much for having me and having Hype House on here.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So tell us a bit more about Hype House.
So basically, it's a sneaker store. It's a consignment store in Abu Dhabi. We combine vintage sneakers and vintage streetwear with sneakers in Abu Dhabi. It's a great thing to come to Abu Dhabi, start the game in Abu Dhabi, because everything is in Dubai. So we wanted to build the culture and the hype here in Abu Dhabi.
Let's talk about that sneaker culture, because it is huge, and I don't think people quite fathom how huge it is globally, but particularly here in the UAE. Now, I watched Air the other day.
Yeah, it's amazing,
the movie, incredible. Now, you know, that culture from an icon of Michael Jordan with the culture of basketball all intertwined. How important has that been for the sneaker culture movement?
Honestly, Michael Jordan is one of the best basketball players in the game. So having Mike wearing the Air Jordan 1 was an amazing thing. So everyone wants to be like Mike. Second of all, the Air Jordan 1, it goes with any outfit. Red, black, and white. It's just amazing. So I think you disagree on Michael Jordan being the best basketball player.
Well, yeah, you could tell, right? You could tell. That is debatable, bro. That is debatable.
Let's see. He got 6 rings, so...
He has.
Yeah.
Abdul Rahman, just a quick... Another thing... You know, when it comes to sneaker culture, there's a lot of like love and affection for vintage, that vintage thing, right? Which is, because I kind of get confused sometimes, because on one hand, you know, looking, it's all about looking fresh and looking new. You know, and I have the newest this and I have the newest that. Then on the other hand, you know, the more vintage it looks, the more in the past it looks, the more fresh it is. What is it about, you know, street culture's love and obsession for things vintage?
So basically, vintage is aesthetic. People like to look fresh. Sometimes vintage is actually nice. It's old. It has a value. The more old it is, the more the value is. So people want to bring back the past here, which is really nice. bringing the vintage clothing, vintage streetwear back to life. So, yep.
I want to talk to you about the sneaker obsession that Nimi touched on as well.
Yeah.
The money in the sneaker industry is insane.
It's insane, yeah.
I mean, I know there are certain companies that I pretty much own shares in based on the amount of sneakers that I own. But is it, and I don't want to be negative, but is it just a bit excessive sometimes? You know, people are paying thousands upon thousands for like a certain shoe that they're never going to wear.
Let me tell you a fun fact. The most expensive Jordan that was sold on an auction, the Jordan 13, for $2.2 million.
Wow.
Exactly.
Was it worn by him? Was it, the history?
It was worn by him and signed by him.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But I'm talking about the shoes that, you know, still, we can probably go into your shop, but I mean, tell me the most expensive pair of sneakers you have in your store.
Well, you got some stuff here as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I just got the Air Jordan 1 Chicago's 2015 version. There's also the 1985 version, which goes for $100,000.
Sure.
Exactly. So, but we kind of think of it in an investment. I can buy it today. After 10 years, I can resell it for much bigger value.
So that's what I was going to say. It does hold its value. It is an investment.
Definitely. I mean, it was worn by Mike. Everyone wants to be like Mike. So that's the thing.
So what Jordans have you got here today? What have you bought in?
I got 2 sneakers, Jordan 1 Chicago Bulls and the Jordan 4 Pine Green. Because Jordan 4, this is a special one. This is the Jordan 4 SB. SB stands for skateboard. So actually you can skateboard with this Jordan 4, which is really nice. And the Jordan 1 Chicago's, everyone knows them, the classics, the OGs. I got the 2015 version, which goes for around $2,000 to $3,000. But as I said, the 1985 one goes for $100,000.
Yeah, but for 2,000, 3,000, like, people are wearing them.
Exactly.
They're getting those dirty.
Exactly. But the thing is, you can resell them after a couple of years, because they always increase in value.
You just buy 2 pairs. So you buy one to wear and then you buy one to keep.
Actually, there's a trick. You buy 3 pairs. You stock.
Because I've got 12 grand.
This is how we do it. You stock one, you rock one, and you sell one.
Oh, we've got more of them on the show today.
That's how we do it.
And let's talk about how the UAE in particular has kind of taken on the hype house, you know, sneaker culture as well, this vintage culture intertwined, because I feel like before people used to maybe fly overseas, go to the US, you know, to kind of like get their kick for the love of what they want and their passion. But now we have it right here, on ground, locally. Tell me more, how has the reaction been in the market?
Honestly, we've got a lot of good reviews from the customers that we finally got a sneaker store / vintage store in Abu Dhabi, and they really loved it because they don't need to fly to USA or to Europe to get it anymore. We bought it to them. So we made the job easy for you guys, basically. And we're very happy from the reviews that people gave us that we finally opened the store in Abu Dhabi, and it's been only 4 months, and alhamdulillah, it's been amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. Abdurrahman, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
We'll come back to you very, very shortly. But for now, it is time to test our guest co-host. So I have kind of sprung this on you because I did just say, do you know we're quizzing you? He's like, no. It's the DXB in 60. You have 60 seconds to answer as many questions about today's show. So I hope you have been paying attention.
All right, let's do it. Let's do this. Okay.
Let's have 60 seconds on the clock, and we're going to start in 3, 2, 1... go. What is the name of the type of martial art featured on today's show? Is it jiu-jitsu or parkour?
Parkour.
Correct. What is the name of the parkour space featured in today's show? Bounce X or Just Play?
Bounce X.
Correct. Which DXB Today presenter went down to Bounce X to learn parkour? Was it Tom Urquhart or Faris Al-Rakad?
Faris.
It was. What type of art did Philip perform? Was it spoken word or rap?
Spoken word.
What ancient art is Emirati artist Azra Khamisa drawing on
her? Henna tattoos.
Well done, correct. Which brand was featured on today's DXB Today Spotlight? Was it High Life Dubai or Dubai Low Life?
High Life Dubai. That's another episode. Lord.
Who is the co-founder of Hype House that is on the show with us today? Is it Muhammad Ali or Abdurrahman?
Abdurrahman, my homie.
Who is the famous British street artist known for his thought-provoking graffiti and artworks? Is it Shepard Fairey or Banksy?
I would love it to be Shepard Fairey, but it's Banksy.
It is. What is the name of the Contemporary Culture Festival in Dubai? Is it Seoul DXB or Dubai Shopping Festival?
Seoul DXB.
It's time. You've got 9. Well done. 9 correct. And you were worried you weren't going to do very well. We are going to have a quick look at the leaderboard. And there we are. On Tuesday, you are at the top of the leaderboard. Round of applause for Saeed.
Saeed, thank you so much for being on the show. We have to have you back very, very soon.
I would love to. Thank you, please.
Thank you. And again, Abdul Rahman, thank you so much. Hype House is the future.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Now, it is time for a quick break, but when we return, we've got a treat. We will meet the cast and crew from the UAE's largest children's theatre festival. Stay right there.
Welcome back to DXB Today. I'm super excited about our next guest. We are joined by the founder of The Hive. Malavika, how are you?
I'm very, very good. Thank you for asking. And you guys do such an amazing job.
Oh, thanks very much. Well, that's all from us today at DXB Today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm really excited to learn more about The Hive. So tell me.
So The Hive is a school for drama and public speaking here in the UAE. We're the largest and most trusted. We have about 700 kids who see us every week. And in the middle of every year, we have a massive festival, and it's called the Hive Theatre Festival. The best part about it is that it's free. And it's theatre for kids by kids.
Oh, nice. Okay, so how did The Hive even start?
The Hive started because we realised, just as you guys were chatting today on the show, that the UAE needed a little bit of soul. We needed to address something beyond just making money and going for brunches, right? We needed to get some poetry and some theatre and some art and storytelling into the system and into the neighbourhood, and that's what The Hive does.
Amazing. Okay, so what can we expect from the festival? I'm very excited because one of my favourites is being performed, Alice in Wonderland.
Oh, yes.
So tell me what else we can expect.
There's Alice in Wonderland. There's a whole lot of Dr. Seuss favourites. We have some lovely Roald Dahl classics as well. James and the Giant Peach is on this weekend. We also start Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is an amazing show.
Amazing.
We have a girl turn into a bubblegum live on stage.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's really, really fun. And the kids love it because it's full of magic and wonderful moments.
I was looking at a lot of your social media, and it just seems that, as you say, everyone's having a really good time. What ages are the kids, and how can people get involved?
So kids who are on stage are between the ages of 5 and 15. You can bring any child of any age to come and watch. You can be an adult and come and watch, or an educator. People can be involved by following us at Live at Hive, and they can intern, they can volunteer, bring their families, bring their kids, and of course sign up for one of our programs and be an actor next season.
Yeah, amazing. I was going to say, because if they wanted to actually, so they were going to come to the festival and see the performance and think, I want to be on that stage next year.
We're right there to answer your questions. You can meet the team, meet the teachers, and sign up.
So excited, because I know we're going to have a very special performance live right here in the studio. So we're going to let all the kids get ready. And Lane, it is over to you.
Thanks, Katie. Right, it's about that time, people, competition time. And this week, we're giving away a DXB Today hamper full of prizes from some of our favourite guests, including a 500 dirham voucher from House of Pops. That's a lot of lollies. A sailing experience for 2 from Wind Rises, that's worth 600 chips, and a lot more. All you got to do is head down to our Dubai One Instagram page and find the competition post and let us know why you want to win.
Yeah, for sure. Make sure you do that. Now, the winner of our Demon Duck competition, Roller, had a wonderful time and sent us a beautiful video of her experience. Now, you've been there, Katie. It's pretty amazing.
It is unreal. And actually, I saw that violinist there. I actually didn't realise it was a live entertainer until she was literally, like, right there. Yeah. But I had the duck à l'orange en flambé by the table. It was absolutely incredible. It was at Caesar's Palace, and the whole ambience was just
So everything duck, basically?
No, not everything duck. I mean, you can have, you know, the 14-day, that's their signature dish, but I just had a small piece of duck. But do you know what I really liked about it? Is they got the music level right. You know, sometimes you go into these restaurants and they think that loud music is good ambience, but I can't hear anymore.
No, it's so important. Unless you're with people you don't like. Then you're like, turn the music up.
Turn it right up.
But we would also love to hear from you guys. So use the hashtag DXB Today to let us know what exciting things you are up to.
Like this. This is how street I am, everybody. Yeah. Okay, this episode was not for me. Listen, we've had a fantastic episode tonight, and that is it. But don't forget, we will be back same time tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're really excited, and we want you to enjoy this incredible performance from the wonderful kids at The Hive.
Welcome, dear dwellers of this city. A city that glitters. A city that's busy.
It's fast. It's glamorous. Don't be alarmed. just artists.
The stage is our canvas. We're the poets, the creators, the storytellers.
Here in the heart of the urban landscape, we give birth to a new kind of performance where the beats of the streets intertwine with the movement of our souls. Too much?
Yeah.
Today, in this wonderful studio,
Which is just a flat screen for you guys.
don't digress. Anyway, as I was saying,
Today we will be giving you a sneak peek into our magical world.
The wonderful thing about theatre is that it needs very little, and we are pretty little.
I can take any empty space and turn it into a bare stage. A man walks across the stage while someone is watching him. And that is all that is needed for an act of theatre to be engaged.
Welcome to our reality. Guys, we should just show them.
this is a person walking across a stage. No different from the ordinary.
But this is a person walking with pain.
No, not physical pain. Emotional pain.
This person then opens a door. Psst, outwards. Push it.
Then, on the other side, a friend. They run towards each other.
Ta 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 ta.
Slow. It's a slow motion scene.
Ta ta ta.
They greet each other and then they realize that it was all just a dream.
See you at the Hype Theatre Festival.